And now, to explain why Minnesota punches above its weight in headquarters and talent, and what that reveals about the Midwest competitive edge, Carlson School of Management professor Myles Shaver.
Good morning, everyone. When I was tasked with this, I wanted to talk about something that we are doing in the Midwest that we might not even know about or the rest of the country doesn't know about, but that is really important for driving the vitality both of our economy and of our society. And what I want to talk about, I'll pose the question, are dual professional careers the driver of our economy and our social vitality going forward? And just to make sure we're on the same page, what do I mean by dual professional careers? I'm talking about a household where both partners are working professionals. Okay, so that's what I mean by dual professional careers. Now, it's been mentioned, yeah, I did write a book on why do we have so many big corporate headquarters in Minnesota. And to give you the answer, first I'll tell you what it isn't. And this is why I wrote the book. We have lots of explanations why we have these big concentrations of corporate headquarters, but they don't hold here. So it's not one industry that drives it. It's not like historically what Detroit was or what tech is in the Bay Area. It's not that we have public policy where we don't tax companies. We know that that's just the opposite. And it's not that there's a natural resource that everything draws from, right? So if you lived in Houston, most of the Fortune 500 companies are all energy companies and chemical companies. So it's not that. What drives this place, and our economy is amazingly diverse, my argument is it's talent. And there's very interesting ways in which that talent affects our economy, and that's what the book is about. So in my argument, there's three important points. We have this amazing base of talent, right? What drives headquarters? It's human capital, and it's largely professionals and professional management. What's unique about our region is when these people switch jobs, and everybody switches jobs all over, they will often jump between industries. So I'll have students who are at 3M now, who were at General Mills before, who were at Medtronic before that. And I could document when they jump those jobs, they often take their experiences and practices from those industries and port them over to their new company. And we have this cross-pollinating of management practices that lifts up all businesses here and helps them grow. And this talent will step down into mid-sized firms and to startups, and we have this ecosystem that drives it. Well, I like that, I could demonstrate it, but it's left with the puzzle. Why doesn't this happen everywhere? Well, the reason is why it happens here. You've heard the adage, it's really hard to get someone to move to Minnesota, but it's about impossible to get them to leave. And that notion that we have talent and it stays here and they won't leave, but they'll jump, that drives it all. So diving into that and what keeps us here, one of the interesting things I found was this notion of dual career couples. So part of the research in doing this book surveyed over 3,000 professionals in 25 companies across the Twin Cities. And a little bit to my surprise, I had a sense it was important. The survey 10 years ago, 70% of the couples said that they were in a dual professional career situation. And I have the wording there. I didn't ask, does their spouse work? Does your spouse have career aspirations and responsibilities, right? This is a real career. Now, that's 10 years ago. We've had a pandemic, it seems like forever, those types of things. What does the data say today? So I'm in the process of redoing it, and to preview some of what we're finding, you know, it was 70% 10 years ago. It's 80% today. Yeah, and that's not I'm sampling somebody weird. If I take a look at the data, it's the younger generations that this is more important. And if we think about talent for the future, right, we should be thinking towards who's going to be working in the future. Now, if you think that number is big compared to other cities, let me calibrate it for you. This is a different data set. This is based on the American Community Survey. Households where both spouses have a college degree and report income. Let's look over on the left here. 80% of those households are dual career in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Go all the way to the right, it's much different in Las Vegas. These data hold over the last 20 years. And you know the dual career increase I talked about? You're actually seeing it across the board, even though some are lagging. And I said we care about this in the Midwest. Here are the Midwest cities. And you can see we lean towards the left-hand side of the screen. And I will say, though, I'll give some props to the Northeast. They're up there, too. So why is this important? So first, it has important implications for talent attraction and retention in the region. Right, in the academic literature, we call it the two-body problem. You got two careers to solve. You know, I've faced this in my life. How do you solve them? Where do you live? That type of thing. It's been talked about as a constraint. But the mirror image of that is if we have a region where there's more opportunities, you have a diverse base, you have hiring lots of professionals, it actually becomes something that attracts people. And once you have them with dual careers here, they don't want to leave because they don't want to face the two-body problem again. So in that survey I was talking to you about, I gave these professional managers hypothetical job opportunities. And one was even just taking a transfer out of the region with their current company, something that should be straightforward. Take a look how less likely people in dual careers are to even consider this. They are grounded. The dual careers keeps them here. You can see the constant over time. Don't ask me about the non-dual careers, why it's less, because I don't know. But that's not the only thing. Could also document it had this interesting effect in helping the dynamism of the economy. And I'd hear stories about dual career couples, somebody being willing to take a jump and move into a startup venture. And the rationale is straightforward. When I'd ask them, look, you have a great headquarters job, you're paid well, it's stable, why are you doing that? Oh, I'm at the point of the career, I'm ready for a risk, but my spouse has a great job. And I can do that. We have this diversification effect or insurance effect. And if that's the case, this can really help the startup ecosystem. So I'm going to show you some data again from that previous survey. Overall, about a third of these headquarter employees say they consider jumping to a new venture. Now I'm going to nuance that argument because I also ask these dual career couples, whose career is prioritized? Is it yours, your spouse's, is it equal? And you can consider, if my career is the real important one, we almost look like a single career household. So here's that willingness to consider a startup venture over a number of different options. So you can see a household that's a single career versus somebody with a high career, they're at about the same level. But as my spouse's career is prioritized, I am much more willing to take that leap into an entrepreneurial venture. So to go back and make the argument, dual careers are an amazingly important part about our talent base. And we look different in the Twin Cities and in the Midwest from a lot of the country. I'll also say it's really important because if you live in a world, even as Susan was alluding to, where you care about attracting talent and retaining talent, this is a tool, something we can leverage, and it has this other spillover effect that can make our economy more dynamic. I'll end not with the question, but now I'll end it with an assertion, because this is a meeting about ideas. And my idea is that dual careers are and will continue to be a source of economic and social vitality for the Midwest. Thank you.